We're going to do a special, you might say. We'll go ahead and show the basic loading process. There's a name, and I don't have any mods. We're going to focus mostly on Castle. We'll talk about it a little bit more than that, but we're going to try to keep this down around an hour, maybe a little less, or a tiny bit more, and focus mostly on what it takes to get the castle to keep going on, and doing some improvements and why, and starting off with your first set of soldiers. To start, first of all, this is what I've got now, but that's not what I had before. If you remember, down here in this spot, right here, we just had the castle keep at the original size and a couple of attachments. But now we went ahead and we've made everything taller, and the primary reason why we did that is so we can have more capacity. Also, you can tell from the dummies here, I've got 4 sets of dummies, which tells you I've got 4 sets of spearmen, or what they call companies in the game. I've also got some decorations out here, and I got a whole bunch of rose bushes, which were a nuisance to move and put down, because we have to move everything around anytime we relocate. So what we have, of course, is a nice tall. It was only about this tall before. These were only about that tall before, and I've raised them all quite a bit. And like I was saying, the reason why I did that is for more capacity. Even though we've raised this one up, it's already full, 14 out of 14. Now I've got 3 companies, or excuse me, I've got 4 companies, so that means I've got another barracks somewhere. And it's already got a, well, let me do it this way. Get rid of this. Well, darn. That's not a barracks, that's a spear encampment. You need one of these. Well, it doesn't have to be this structure, it could be that one or another. For each time you have a spear encampment. There's the barracks. Now this barracks right now has 11 out of a possible 14. So my only choice now is either to make everything taller or build another barracks. Now on this end, we have a treasury. We wanted to get this number up quite a bit more, and since I was going to make it taller, I figured why not put it on the end here. Of course, all that becomes possible once I've got in here and I've opened up all of this. Now I could not have an additional company of spearmen until I had this paid for. And of course I couldn't have it paid for until I had this up to 25 splendor, since we've got our prosperity well over 10. But what they're trying to do is encourage you at the beginning of the game, go ahead and buy all you can in tier 1. Now these are of course going to cost you 25 gold each to set them up. And you will need to start with this one if you're low on gold, because you bought too much territory right off or something. Somehow you spent too much gold. And unless you've got access to water, you won't need this one. But you do need this one right away, because that's the only way you can get a warehouse and a granary started so that you can have extra storage. The wooden bridge can wait unless there's a reason for you to want to cross a river or other body of water from one to another for some reason. And this one, I still have not used it, even with all the improvements I've got, but it is common for a person who gets a good location and has at least 4 territories to want to have that. But at the beginning of the game, you only normally have 1 or 2 territories for all your building. And the reason being is it's for the village. It means that you can put a wall all the way around the village, along with some gates and stuff. If you're trying to do the classic, what would you call it, pattern outline of medieval times, where you put your housing in one area along with maybe just this at first, or this if you can afford to pay the 25 gold right off the bat, because all you need, as it shows, you don't even need any prosperity yet. So you're able to do these things very, very early in the first hour or 2 of gameplay. The only catch is you might hold off on the fish and not pay for that until you actually have access to some water and you've checked out the water to make sure there is some fish. and you might hold off on this one unless you're determined to surround all your housing with fencing. And you might want to have this in the center of that circle, square, whatever design you decide on, and this, but normally not your monastery. You will need your churches close to the housing, so that it'll probably be inside your village fence, but normally not your monastery. It'll be on the outside. And the reason being is it's self-sufficient, just like a little mini city would be, or town. Because as you can see, it provides a lot of stuff right off the bat. And you probably will want to get most of your structure going. But we'll leave more of that discussion in the next video. I don't think we'll have time to do this castle keep and this also. Now, like I was saying, you do need to get the manor house for the Lord Mayor, which you are as the player. And you're going to need the 25 Splendor, which comes from the building itself. All of these buildings provide their own Splendor menu. So just remember that if you want the Splendor to make a change here, you have to first click on after it's constructed, any of these 4 options, and apply from the menu that was, if you're over here, has a little daisy, but this is for housing. Most of the stuff here you see is for the housing or for the benefit of those living in the housing. And of course, these are real expensive. They cost $250 a pop, so I can't really mess with those yet. These are just, what, 25 a pop? Yeah, I believe it is. I know these are 25, so these might be 50, then 100, and then 250. I think that's what it is. I'm having trouble remembering for sure. But anyway, you got to focus on getting this up. And as you can see, it tells you what you need. Now, normally you're going to have trouble getting to 10, which helps you with this first set right here. See there? You got to have 10 prosperity. But as soon as you open up a trade route by selling planks, it'll usually bump you right up to 10. Because as you can see right there, they count commerce. They also count population, but population is something you kind of need to go slow with at first. And for quite a while. Now they do count beautification, and as you can see, you've got that available right there, but it's got to be open first. So getting that first in, total and prosperity is a big deal. Now if you want to see how they calculate that, like I've shown before, they've got the formulas and how much of a point system you can earn by focusing on these options. Right off, Splendor is not going to be very much you can do yet until you get something like this constructed. But beautification will be almost immediately. There'll be a few things that you could do. And that all comes to play to bring this up. And once you get it to 10, you can start purchasing all of these. This one, of course, is the first one, like I've showed before. So I won't get too much into this since the other parts of this video series talks more about this kind of stuff. Let's focus on the fort. I can't have any bowmen at first until I unlock this, and I can't have any swordsmen until I unlock this. And that also means that the structures that you want in order to make these weapons types won't open up until you pay for this. Now the next thing you might want to pay for right away is probably this one, so that the provisioner can get busy and start making these special meals like you see listed for the soldiers. But actually you can wait quite a ways and wait quite a while before you need that. Oh, I keep forgetting. That's got these on this side, and on this side they have a dead space. You have to move in halfway. Okay, the Tier 2 Kingdom privilege is what all this is about. And that is something you want to focus on when you can. You're going to have to go ahead and unlock this, but trying to put his office in now is basically a waste of time. And that's why you won't see anything, because his office requires heavy fortification. And like I was saying before, that probably won't be available until down here, or maybe even down here somewhere, when you can start doing better steel weapons and stuff. But anyway, let's get back to this. This becomes important if you want to make your fort into a large square and they have a lot of companies like the Morris Spear. Right now I've got, what, four of them? I don't have any of these yet. I don't have any of these yet because I can't really do anything with them. These guys are just easy to kill. That short bow, as they call it, it just doesn't have effective range or anything. So if you do put in a company of bowmen, which I'll demonstrate, and you put in a company of swordsmen, just remember they don't have any real ability with those weapons. They break easy because they're Iron Age weapons, and they just don't seem to hold up in combat. Now the first, 4 missions or 5 missions, once they get their might up high enough, and what you'll do, you put them on patrol duty or guard duty instead of mission duty. Then you can have them, stay in the town or village for quite a while and earn some of their might that way. This one comes kind of nice because this is the stage we're at now, is called rustic. And like I was saying, you could fill out your fort, make it a big square with a court in the center. This will give you some fortification, but unfortunately, all the fortification towers and stuff and walls are going to be light. They're not going to be heavy. This comes in nice if you want to, of course, improve the splendor rating, because we start off at 25. This gives us more options, as it shows listed there. And we're going to need to get up to 75 to unlock Tier 3. And Tier 3 is going to be kind of important to us, not only for what's listed here, but what becomes available. Okay, is that enough talk about that? That's what we're going to focus on anyway. Now, the next thing I need to do is I need to go to the Royal Book and make sure that I went ahead and I opened up the necessary privileges. Now, this, of course, is the crest and tells you the type of game you're playing in case you need a reminder or you just want to look at it. And this is your privileges. Now, we've already opened up these privileges and we've already made assignments. So I probably don't need to say much more about that since I've already demonstrated that, I do believe. And none of this has a direct effect on the castle or the troops. So we'll go ahead and just get out of that. Oh, the computer hesitated for some reason. All right. Now, I guess the first thing I should show you is having another company. I'm going to leave the game on pause for now. I've got these 2 buildings up. This one is where the weapons are actually stored. And now we can even do the rations. And we've only need 1 transporter right now because, as you see, the numbers are kind of low. You start out with, just the spears that the king gives you when he has his guy come by and say, nice going, because you put up this structure here. And you might have put in 1 barracks, but maybe not. 1 guy is going to be plenty. He's just a common person that you took because you had some extra persons up here. Or you took a person off of a job, which I don't recommend, and stuck him in there so you can get busy right away. And get those gifted spears, which were 50 in here, because right at first, this is the only slot you could open. You can't do these until you have those bow maker and sword maker structures paid for. You don't have to have them placed on the map yet, but you do have to have them paid for. And then, of course, once you have this one, which is because of this kitchen here, they call it the provisioner. And his thing is, of course, is to produce resources. And you can tell right here what I asked him to make. And you can see it listed here when you see it gives you these different choices. So you have to look at what you have available and decide on which one you want to make. Right now I'm making, you can see it right there. We're taking berries and we're taking wheat because we have surplus of both of those right now. Not a huge surplus, but enough to get by. And I've got a future option by clicking on this building right here. Let's see what that is. Well, as you can see, it's actually talking about the castle because I had to use the castle to make this building. And I can make it taller, it looks like. So let's click right here, and there we go. Now let's click on the center dot here, and let's make, there we go. Now, technically, I think the game puts everything on pause when it comes to making war rations when we do this. But it's only a short delay, normally. And, yeah, I don't see him making any more meals. So he's waiting until the construction on his, well, wait a minute, I've got it on pause. Let's take it off of pause, let's see. Yeah, he's not doing any making of more meals. So he's waiting for the construction to get done. And then he'll go back to work. And they're telling you, of course, this is the name of the builder. This is what they're bringing to get construction started. They have, no, they need to bring tools and they need to bring stone. So that won't get done for a little while. But we can speed it up, of course, by increasing the game speed. They're running around kind of quick that way. While they're doing that, let's focus over here. Let's get a couple of extra people. We'll probably end up needing them since I didn't have anybody unemployed. But as soon as you do that, that makes a crunch on your housing. So let's see, let's do an attachment. We can click on any one of these. It'll give us the option to add another structure. So now we got to decide what kind of structure. Do we want another spear company? Or, well, sword company in this case. Bow company? We don't need another armory. We've already got one. And it's not full to capacity yet, so I'm going to go ahead and do the bow company. Now, to keep the game consistent, I'm going to do this one, because that's what I did for this one. And of course, it was a lot shorter than what you see. So we'll do this one. Now, I don't want it to connect that way. It kind of doesn't keep up the pattern. So I want to turn it around like so. Now I want to connect it. And that's the original size. And that'll open us up another bow company. But, as you can see here, it provides its own, well, you've also got these other buildings. Light fortification. But you got to have the practice targets. And you can only locate those practice targets a short distance from the actual structure. So before you command construction, go ahead and click here. And remember, we're talking a bow company, right? See there? It says bow encampment. So this is what we want. And by clicking on the building, it should only offer these two. I'm going to go ahead and pick this style, but you can get by with this style, no problem at all. Now let's demonstrate the fact that you can't get too close and you can't get too far away. See there what it says? Too far. So at some point you might decide that, well, I'm going to keep the bowman on the inside shooting the targets. And I can't get too far this way or this way. So we're probably going to have them face their quarters because they're going to stand at these triangles to do the bow practicing. And we'll see how far away can we get. That's it. So we'll stop right there. But that means we can't put anything else in this area. And we probably shouldn't put anything else in this area. And just in case they miss the target. Now the other thing I want to do is how square is that? It's not that square to the building next to it. So we want to rotate it just a little bit, like so. That looks good. Now we've met all the requirements. We've got green check marks all the way, just like with the other structures. Boom. Now the builders will get out of here and they'll get busy. And then we'll be able to have a bow company. So now we need to focus on getting 5 people, 5 newcomers, some immigrants, because all your new companies need 5 villagers that are unemployed. Let's see. Can we get back? Yeah, we can get back. Okay, let's see where. Now he's going right back to work if he has the necessary supplies he needs. He's not making much progress, is he? Is he out grabbing? See, where's the nearest? There he is, right there. Oh, that's a visitor. That's a traveling trader, traveling merchant. Well, we don't actually have to open this. We've got this option up here. He needs berries, not a problem. Oh, that's why he's not making any more. We're not producing enough wheat. Oops, here's another. Okay, they've got the structure done. We've got the requirement of a target done. Now we could come up here and say, this is all about the no workers assigned. I probably should move it over like this. And we can click on the building and it says add a company. And this time it's going to be Bowman. But you can see we need 5 of them. And right now we've only got 3. I like to put them all in at the same time so that their training all comes up and is completed at the same time. Oh dear, this game is already bogging down my fancy computer. Well, but you don't have to. You've only got the one target unless you go back in here. You have to do the building and you go here and you put out another target. This time you might decide to use this one instead of this one. But I like to keep everything the same, so. Now, for some reason, they'll let you put this one quite a ways out. See there? The other one, we can only get it about this far, and it was maxed. But this time, they'll let you put it quite a ways out. I guess what they're thinking about is the fact that you may not have a large enough area. Now, if I put it here, and I rotate it, you see, I have to have it slightly off center in order to keep those two guys from interfering with each other. This is not recommended. You need to have them separated. And that's about the best I could do right now. Now we'll do the bird's eye. We'll zoom in with the mouse wheel and we'll try to get it squared up. That looks pretty square. In fact, I could possibly go forward a little bit. No, yeah, I could go forward a little bit and then move it over like so. I could move this. I'd probably have to move it towards this building. I think that's the one I clicked on before I put it out for Splendor. So that's probably about the best we could do. So we'll go ahead and start that. That will allow 4 of these future 5 bowmen practice. They've got 2 targets. You might be wondering, well, why don't you put out another one? It doesn't seem to make that much difference. Well, you can put out another target, but we're going to have the same restrictions on distance and everything. And since we've got a total of 6 constructors, or builders, in the game now, it doesn't take them very long to get to the work. We just don't have that much going on. Uh-oh. Why is that symbol there? Oh, 2 of these villagers left that we assigned as miners. That's an important resource, the iron ore, because it really slows down the game if we run out. So our count is down to 1 now. Well, we just got 2 replacements in, so we'll grab them right quick. You know, I probably should demonstrate what happens if you don't put all 5 in at the same time. Basically, all 5 are not ready to go on a mission at the same time. You have to wait for them. So let's go ahead and click here, put in what we got. And now let's see what that does to our barracks. Is it this one? Oh, we're getting tight. See, we've already filled up this one, right? Yeah, see, it's already got 14 out of 14. I see what did it start out as? I think it started out as 11 or something like that. These are the occupants. They're going to all be spearmen, I can tell you that right off. And this one is probably going to include bowmen now. But if for some reason you want to boot them out of their company, you can here. All right, let's see. There's not much more to say about that, except if you click here, remember you probably will have to place it close to the structure that you clicked on. So keep that in mind if you want to do another modification and you want a little more distance than this clicking here to do the same thing will allow. Okay, now let's see. Did we modify? I don't think we did. Where the guard stands? Company rally point. It would make sense to put it right out here somewhere. Point it towards. Yeah, that's enough distance, I think. It won't have them standing inside the rose bushes. Oh, let's go ahead and get that going. And grab us some more people here. And let's quickly get them assigned. Because I don't think we had enough, did we? To do all 5? No, we didn't. So it won't take them all that much longer to get ready. Now let's see what we got here. We only had the 3 to start with. We hadn't had the others. I want to see if another one will be standing right here next to this guy. There we go. Yep, everything's working. Now notice that 2 guys are blended in there. See all the second bow? And that's why I don't really need more than these 2 targets. Huh. Isn't that kind of funny how they bounce back and forth like that? And they blend in together? Well, that's not the only time they'll do that, so... Okay, let's get back up here and zoom out with the mouse wheel. And let's get back down to setting up our arrows in relationship to the castle, the main structure. That's the only way they get in and out of any of these structures. I have not provided a second entrance, but as long as these buildings are connected, then that works just fine. I've got 3 benches. When I first put these benches out, it seemed like they couldn't sit down on them fast enough or long enough. And then now they're just kind of ignoring them, but I did move them from the original site. I don't know if that's got anything to do with it or not. All right, so let's get back here. Let's get back to our arrows. The company rally point we have established. And now we need the visitor location, but only use the visitor location if you don't want them stopping at the Lord Mayor's Manor anymore. Now this would be a good idea for me, I think, because there'll be more. Oh, there goes an example. Well, let's do the guard first. I usually want the guards to stand near the doorway, so to speak. So I'll do like that right there. And we only need 1. They don't stand there for very long. All right, so now let's look at our visitor. And let's see. I've still got 1 left over, so I'm not going to worry about. But we have. Oh, they're both from clergy. Let's put it on pause. All right, what do you want to do? Wandering monks, huh? Well, I don't think I'm really ready yet, because there are going to be a lot of monks coming in, and I got to keep them happy, even though it may not be an issue right now, since we have some monk unique food available for them. But I'm going to pass. Now let's see. Can we get to this guy without clicking on another? Oh, I don't have the bread or the herbs available. It's either where it says my current amount. I got plenty of berries, but I just don't have the herbs or the bread for some reason. So I'll pass on that too. Now I'll go ahead and hit the space bar again. Now, as you can see, the visitor stops right over here, pretty close, but I might want to change that. We will still get visitors coming here making requests or offering a quest to do. It's a quest or a request. All right, so let's get back to this here. We want to change where our visitors ask for stuff. So we'll make a new visitor location. And I'm going to put them right up here. And I'm going to move them back a little bit. And I'm going to put them on the trail, or the dirt pathway as the game calls it. And I'll turn them a little closer where it's pointing at the door, like so. Now usually that means they're going to stop right here in this area where this arrowhead is, and we'll do that. And like I was saying, I'll still get some that'll go to the center area like we just had happen, but that should prevent them from going back over here, which is starting to get a little crowded, make it just a little more difficult. Because if I remember right, you can only have one visitor location. The game automatically provides this one, and then later on when you have this built, you can provide one up here. And now that we've got the arrow up in this area, that's where they should stop. And there isn't, come on game, quit doing that. That's for some reason my mouse likes to back up every once in a while. There isn't anything other than these tall structures to hide. Oh, they're happy about having too much supplies. Okay. Lots of food, rustic food. Which is the fish and the berries. Notice I'm not providing any more than fish and berries. I've got 2 stalls that are berries, and I've got 1 stall of fish. And that's based on the fact I got tons of berries, but fish, not so much. Let's see. Oh, what the heck? I'm trying to get this right here. Yeah, we're not doing as great with the fish. And I've already got 2 fishing piers out with people assigned, unless one of them left. Come on, mouse wheel, quit doing that. Hey, what's going on here? Oh, that's the ocean. I didn't put anything on the ocean. I put it on the lake. Let's see. I guess I'll use the F key to do it this way. Alright, where'd they hide the lake on me? That's all ocean over there. There it is. Well, I don't see any symbols to suggest that these guys have left the game for another town or something. And I don't think the fish ever actually run out. Yeah. Oh, I've got it on pause, no wonder. Alright, so there's one fishing spot. Here's another one that I own. It's in my territory that I've paid for. Let's see, was there one over here somewhere? Yeah, so I could put another fishing spot out. Another one of these little docks without any problem. And since I own all this over here, you know, I might as well go ahead and do that. So let's see, we need to go here. Oh man, my game is bogging down. Something bad here, let's see. That's what I want right there. Now, for some reason, I cannot find a spot to put it at first, but once I click it, and then I make sure that the fish net and the dock area is in the right spot. See, there's your fish net. Maybe I should zoom in on that. See how little fishtails hanging out? There's your dock. That's where that red arrow is where your boat is going to be once she gets, or he gets down here. But now I can find a good place to put it. So I don't usually go out as far as I can. I usually back up and then come back in a little bit like that. And that's, oh, I don't have the gold, do I? No, I sure don't. Take this off of pause. Whoop, I had it off of pause. So the only thing I can do right now is click right here. And they'll leave there as a ghosty shape. Now, well, actually, I don't have to go back to the Lord's Manor. I've got this guy right here where I can do my mandates no matter where I'm at. Oh, I just got to put the game on pause right quick so that doesn't go away until I get this done. There we go. Now we'll take it off of pause. Oh, no, we won't. We'll put it right back on pause. And let's see. I could go here. And then I could say, I need you to go prospecting. I don't really need a lot more of these right now because I don't have my Splendor up, but I want to pick the closest spot. And they always show the closest spot and the farthest spot, because I may already own the territory this one is in. Now, that's all I could do because it says in progress, but technically, I don't have that person employed yet. I don't have their office installed because I still need heavy fortification before I could actually activate any of this stuff if I have the price. And this guy is attached to the monastery, and I have not done that yet. And like I said, we'll leave the monastery for the next part to this series. All right, let's take it off a pause so they'll get out of here. So that should take care of our fishing problem. As far as our wheat problem goes, that's a different story. We've only got the 2, and right now you see there's a lot of the field that they're not doing anything with. Well, they are harvesting. Are they going out as far as they can to start the harvest? No, I guess it's not time for the harvest. Oh, there they go. They just started. Now, on the farmhouse, this tells me, since I always make these bigger than they should be or need to be, where they'll have the word adequate. And see, instead, I want it to say it's too big. Just a little too big. I'll cut back if it's a lot too big. But notice how many employees I have. You start off with 2, and you can add these with this building. I mean, start off with 3, and you can add 2 with this attachment I have right here. And of course, you click here, and then you find it, and it says it'll add 2 more employees as farmers, and we can have another one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right away, since we're trying to make rations for the troops, and we just don't have enough wheat available. Now, the other thing is you can blend these together quite a bit, as long as you don't turn one of these red, the entrance and exit. But I like to keep the buildings snug, but not necessarily overlapping. You might have a space problem or something going on. Now, the other thing I can do is I could give them more storage space. See right there? It will hold 50 more in the storage resources. In this case, it's wheat. But look at how many tools it takes. It takes quite a few planks also, so you do have to kind of keep an eye on those details. Now, it won't let me do another one, so I can't add 2 more. 4 is the total, is the max. So let's go ahead and give them some more storage space. I don't want to put it back here primarily because you can tell there's some berries back there. And I might not be able to stick it in here. No, I have to buy that territory. Now this is storage, so we can stick it over here if we want to. There's a bunch of scrub brush that aren't doing anything for me, and I can't do anything with. So let's move it over here. Now there's a chance I might need to make this field a little bit bigger with more employees. So I'm going to move it over about that far, and hopefully, oh, wait a minute. What's the problem? It said too far, did it? Yeah, too far. I'm too far away from the farmhouse, which is what I clicked on. So I have to find a spot. Oh dear. It acts like it won't let me get very far at all. Well, I'm okay in this area, so we'll just put it in here like this. And let's see, well, no, I don't think I've got any berry bushes. So we'll have to stick it fairly close like that. And you see the blueprint or the footprint. Let's see, we don't have a choke point there, I don't think. So I'll move it back a little bit. See, I don't want to block this, and I don't want to cover up these. So that looks like a good spot for it. And if I remember right, we can have 1 or 2 more of those. But I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of the fact that we've got some berries over here to pick and put this in. Ooh, I can't go too far back. I'll be outside my territory. So let's turn it that way. Now let's see how close. Oh, that's it. Right in there. And remember, as you have the building and you're trying to place it, it tells you where the berries are. That's true of any structure. It'll tell you where the resource for that structure is. Wow, they don't hesitate to go back to planting new crop, do they? All right, let's see. Oh, I've only got 1 more person I can add. It really doesn't matter which building. We click on, so let's go ahead and give them some more help. That way they'll plant a little more and we'll see less brown that is not planted. All right, can we get us another employee? Two just showed up. Oops, I got somebody. Oh, he doesn't have access to a church. We'll have to look into that, buddy. Get you fixed up. In the meantime, let's go ahead and, this time I'll click on this building just to demonstrate that it doesn't matter which building you click on. I can even click here and get the same result. See how these are all tied together? If any one of them should get destroyed because you hit this key or something, thinking it would take care of the building, or you might have tried here and looked to see one of these and you clicked on it. The wheat barn, these are the ones that provide extra employees. And then you clicked on this, well, guess what? Everything you see highlighted there disappears. It's all connected. I don't know why they did it that way. It doesn't make any sense to me. I guess they'll let you move them around, but they won't let you destroy them. I've only got one person I can stick out there right now. Well, let's get back to the fort before we've been at this for an hour or more. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to go here, and I want to click right down there, and then I want to click towards the center and look for the up arrow. There it is. And bring this up until it's just as tall as the other ones. Oh, I think I went too far. Well, it looks like I went too far. Let's see what this does. Yeah, that definitely is too far. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I need to go back up, don't I? See, the orientation of the roof line kind of makes that a little confusing. Well, anyway, we're going to go ahead. Now, what can we do with the bowmen? Well, the bowmen are out on doing nothing right now. They're just training. But we have to go here to see that. All right, there's our bow company, so click here. Oh, they're done with training. Well, nice. So that means I don't want to put them on a mission because they won't survive very well. So let's see, what choices do we have? Let's put them on guard duty. And that means the company I put on guard duty, I could put, that's on patrol. Mission, guard duty. I could take them off and put them back on mission duty. And of course, I probably don't need to say this, but this is your main building, your castle keep. That's where they reside. These guys all have their separate little buildings, just like I did for the bow company. Now, if for some reason I want to get rid of the company, I just click on this. Otherwise, it'll tell me which building is theirs. Now I have to get this out of my face so I can actually see it. It's in the middle of your screen. It's not highlighted, which seems a little strange, but it's always going to be in the middle of your screen, no matter what you're responding to. For example, I'll push the spacebar. No access to cloister. Okay. And where is that happening? In the middle of your screen is where it'll always put you. So what they're complaining about is the priest and the nuns don't have a place to do their meditations and things. But that's for the next video. Let's get back over here. All right. So let's take it off a pause. We've got the only thing we need to do. I would like to have a sword company. It's the same process. I normally click here first, but I could click over here. And that would make a difference, but I would prefer to click over here because they're going to want dummies too. And I will have a choice to either, if I add a sword company, I'll have an option to put some of the dummies. I'll probably put them right there. I don't think that would be too far away from the structure that would go right here. And then they'll come out of here and it'll be the same dummy, same kind of dummy. And that's what they'll beat on if I put in a sword company. But let's get back into this. We've almost been at this for an hour already. We want to do some missions. I think I should check here. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's healthy. Come on, computer. There we go. These are the missions that the companies I've already sent out. It tells you what time of the day of the month it was and which mission I sent them on. It gives the name. You always start off with this one with a new company because that's the easy one. And the victory or loss, how well they did. Sometimes they do real well, but so far no one's done perfect, 100%. So somebody must have came back wounded. And as you can see here, this is how many were wounded. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see unless you go to this page right here, combatant list, and you look at these green lines to see if any of them have a kind of a darkened out spot. And you see if you have any casualties. This is what they brought back in the way of basic rewards. And this is what they brought back in the way of Kingdom Influence coins, which have a slight copper look to them. So that's a very valuable page. Keeps you once you have enough troops to send out. And then here we click on them to check out mostly their training. Now their happiness can become an issue at some point, but right now we're doing good. Training's good, happiness is reasonable. We don't want to dismiss that particular combatant, that particular soldier troop in this spear company. Same thing. They have all got their weapons. Everything's looking good. Also, air looking good. Looking good. And then our bow company. And of course, we put them on guard duty, so they're not going to take any damage. That's one thing this game does not include, is invaders. At least not yet. Okay, so now this is the easiest mission. It only requires a might of 18, and we've got it boxed in. So we want to look over here for the weakest company we've got. It looks to be this one. See there? Spear Company number 2. For some reason, they're still kind of weak. Their might is only about 45 with a possibility of 60. So we've got them highlighted. We click on them. Now we can deploy them. See, their symbol pops up into this box that we have highlighted. Now we can deploy them. All right, this one is unlocked. But if we look down here, we've got some that we have not unlocked. And until those become unlocked, it's not available. Now, if we box this one in, we get a list of the remaining companies that we have available to send on the mission. On this mission, they'll come back with a judgment of how well they did, and they'll come back with some more of these influence coins. But they'll also come back with some rustic food. So which company is our next weakest is how I normally do it. Okay, they're pretty strong. They're not as strong. This is the weakest company. And we're all the way down, so we've got the whole list. So that's the ones I'll send on that mission. Now let's do this one. They'll come back with some more of this coins again. They'll get a judgment on how well they did, how many trophies they win, and they'll come back with basic materials, wood, planks, and stone, which can become important to you if you happen to be low on those particular items. If I look up here, I say, oh man, I got tons of stone, plenty of planks. Well, my wood's down a little bit. It should be closer to 200 plus. But now, who's my next weakest company? Looks like it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. So I just click here, and I send them on their merry way. Now, I've still got one left. They'll come back with bread, a judgment, and more coins. Now, this is the only company I got left, so of course I would, they've got plenty of might, no problem there. And send them on their way. Now, I've got everything. I've got enough spear companies to fill out all the ones that are open. Now, later on, when we do the skirmish season, and they'll come back with cloth and the t-shirts, well, they call them clothing. But look at it's a convoy escort mission. They've got to be at least 280. But if they're not well above 280 in might, we might have some serious problems. Lots of wounded, maybe even a casualty. So pay attention to that might. And of course, they'll come back with more. And that's how you get this up. So you can get into here. Oh, I missed. There we go. So you can get in here and pay for these. Now, I can't pay for these down here until I get the Splendor up to 75. So you know what I got to do, right? Is I got to click here, go over here, just like with any other building, find one of these that provides the kind of Splendor I want. And in just about every building, it's going to be the last one. Either plant some more rose bushes or something else. But remember, this takes a lot of gold. And that's what's slowing me down right now. I just don't have any. I'm not doing enough trading. Computer's bogging down a lot. All right, so let's go back up here. And remember that first mission? They actually come back with gold. Well, how much have they been coming back with? 125, 122. That usually affects how many trophies they get. They only got come back with 94 that time. 125, 134. That's pretty much it. That's that very first mission. They come back with both gold and Kingdom Influence coins. So that's why these pages are really important to check out. Now, while they're gone, sometimes this will actually update and tell you if someone's getting wounded. Now, if it looks like the mission's going to wipe out your troops in that particular company, because you also will see these little asterisk symbols show up in there, and then you can click on the companies individually if you see a disaster taking place. And the reason why I'm mentioning this, you want to click here, you want to find the company that's having the disaster and call them back. This one, they don't let you call them back. I guess that's because it's so easy. It's got such a low might. But if you see a disaster brewing, you could call this troop company back, or this one, or this one. Of course, you can't do anything down here yet. See, it won't even highlight. But it will let you click and move this around, though, if you want to, for some reason. Maybe you want to move this down enough so you can talk about this in the clear, or talk about this in the clear. But remember, you've got this new option. It's got a hotkey of, what's that say, F10? Yeah, I think that's what it says. All right, I think I've covered all the bases. And our hour is pretty much up, I think. And we still can't do anything about this one. Well, we could install the office, but we couldn't really send him. I don't think it allows us to send off on a mandate until we get that heavy fortification option. Oh, we've got a visitor. Let's put it on pause and see what he wants. All right. Oh, do we want to give him that much of our ore, iron ore? We've got 180 and he wants 150. Well, the 225 in gold and 5 more of the green labor coins, influence coins. Ooh, let's see. We've got, what does it say up there? 35 of the green coins already of influence. Oh, geez, we got 35 in all of them. We just don't have enough influence for the next year. Boy, that is tempting. Wow. It's an instant satisfaction. Boy, can I say the word? We can satisfy the request right away, so let's do that. That way we'll get the coins we want. There we go. And we got some more coins. All right, that looks comfortable. Now, I'll just right-click up in here anywhere. Let's look at the mandate possibilities. Oh, yeah. Let's send them off. Get that prospecting done as soon as possible till you run out. Then we can focus on these other things if we meet the requirements. The only requirement we would be able to improve right now would be this one. Oh, that would raise the trade route from level 1 to level 2. Well, we'll talk about that more in another video. I don't have these other people available, so that's it. Alrighty. So what do you think? Did we talk about enough details here? I think we covered all the basics and even some of the details about future improvement. Now you're going to see troops going all in and out, and when they're on a mission, they'll even come here, stop for a second, like as if, what's the game you call where you have to put your hand on something before you run off to the next spot? Oh, we just lost another surf. It's probably because we haven't been, where is it, right here? Keeping an eye on their complaints, and the negative number got too high. Ooh, look at all those complaints. Man, they're just popping up left and right, aren't they? And it's probably housing. Yeah, housing is too far away from the workplace. Look at that. They're just popping up like crazy. These people are upset about something. Oh, he's also unhappy about housing. So wherever they're working, which we can identify, let's do this guy right here. And remember, it's going to be in the center of the screen. Oh, mercy. This guy is the one that's complaining? That's not good. We don't want him leaving. So let's fix that right away. All right, make sure our circles, that's a little bit too big. Bring it down one, there we go. And let's go ahead, and I don't think I'm going to use this for fort. And I can't get too close to the structure. So I got to back off a little bit. And I don't want to do it there, so we'll have to compromise a little bit. Boom. And we'll do the same thing. No, we don't want to go that way with it. We want to go this way with it. Oh, wait a minute. I like to switch up size. Let's make sure it's the right size. Huh, looks like it's a little bit too small, doesn't it? Alright, same thing. We don't want to get over into the farm field. We don't want to cover up the bush. Well, we could square it up a little bit more this way. And go this way with it. That looks like a good option. Boom. Now we'll turn this off. Okay, good. Oh, wait a minute. They didn't use this one or this one. So that tells me they're too small. Let's go back to the circle. Let's make it... Wow, that's quite a bit bigger. Just make it a little bit bigger. That should do the trick. And the same thing here. We'll have to do it like about so. Outstanding. They took that one right away. So, outstanding. We now have a situation where we don't have a problem with housing. Well, maybe I shouldn't say it. Let's go back up here and see how it's going. Oh, no, they're not complaining about housing. Oh, they're probably, yeah, they're complaining about housing here. Well, you saw how I fixed that problem, right? I looked to see where the problem was, and then I provided housing in the spot that was closest to their workstation. We got another one. Yeah, we got another one. There is another way to make corrections other than what I just showed. Huh. Now what are they griping about? Oh, that didn't last. They must have found a house. No, they're still griping and groaning. It's kind of weird how it comes and goes. All right, well, anyway, it's time for us to say be well, and we'll catch you next time.